Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know I have been totally gone for the longest time. I just got done with one of the most stressful finals of my life. Summer term is literally kicking me in the ass right now, so I'm sorry. I know I have been totally MIA, but I got my coffee. It's literally 3 in the afternoon right now. Like, I don't know where this day has gone. I slept in so late because I've just been exhausted from studying, but I am so excited to be filming today. You guys have no idea. I thought of a really fun episode type thing to do with you guys, and I wanted to do like rookie mistakes episodes with you guys. So I would literally start off with like foundation rookie mistakes, or like applying like eyebrows rookie mistakes, applying lipstick rookie mistakes. I just had a lot of things brewing in my head, but today I wanted to do a rookie mistakes episode on how to apply your foundation and concealer and how to set it. I know I did an application video of my foundation, like it was like one of my first videos, but the quality was super low and I don't think I did a very good job explaining it, and I just wanted to run through a few pointers as to how I've changed and how my application has changed throughout the years of me doing makeup. I think it's super important because I think when you're beginning you don't know a lot, you kind of follow what everyone else says to do, but what I've learned as a makeup artist myself is to just kind of get to know yourself, maybe get to know your clients, understand that applying foundation is different on every single person that you do it on, or if you do it on yourself. So I just want to go through like a few pointers of the application process, and some of it is even what to think about before the application process. I literally have notes right here for you guys, so I'm sorry if I'm looking down. I'm literally just reading notes. So the first things first is exfoliating. I know you hear this from every single beauty YouTuber, every single like makeup desk that you go to in Nordstrom or something. She'll be like, oh my gosh, like you look like you need to exfoliate, and the truth is you probably do. I just wanted to show you guys what I use every day. It's super gentle and it just really wipes off any of the excess flakiness that I have on my skin. So I use my Cetaphil daily facial cleanser right here, and I use this Precision Beauty tool. Now I got this at TJ Maxx for literally like $5, and I use the back of it. It's kind of like, I don't know whether you guys can see this. Okay, there you guys, you get a little bit better of an angle there. That might have been so out of focus, but it's basically just like a rubbery back, and this is like super great for gently exfoliating my skin. The front of it is kind of too harsh for my skin, but on days where I'm really bad or I got a sunburn, I do go in with this side and just scrub around my nose a little bit, or scrub around the areas. But what this does is it really smooths out your face and it makes the application of your foundation that much better. And then the next thing I want you guys to think about is to know what you can afford. So I know many of you guys are influenced by beauty gurus or by people at Macy's or Dillard's, or telling you like, oh, buy this foundation, like it's so great. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I fell into that. I've watched Kathleen Lights, I've watched Jaclyn Hill, and went and ran and bought the Hourglass foundation, or went and ran and bought the Tarte Shape Tape, which I love both of those products, but the truth is not everyone needs a $50 foundation. Like, that's just crazy. Like me, sure, like I will buy a $50 foundation because I wear makeup every single day. I film videos every single day, and I have to buy products that people want to know about. But for like my everyday friends, when I tell them to pick a foundation, I usually tell them to go with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation because it's $8. They don't wear foundation that much, and it's an amazing product. So you kind of have to know when you're buying beauty supplies and beauty makeup like what you can afford. You don't have to go out and buy the beauty blender right away. Go buy the $2 option at TJ Maxx, and it's literally gonna save your ass. To make it clear, just know what you can afford. Know that you don't have to go out and buy $50 foundation and $30 concealer and all that. I mean, literally the drugstore has such great options, and I think I'm gonna do a video on that for you guys, so thumbs this video up if you do want to see a video on that, because I definitely will go out and purchase some products or repurchase products that I've already used up and know that I love. But the next thing is know how much coverage you want to have when you're doing face makeup. I just went and bought makeup with my big like 4 or 5 days ago, and she was like, you know, I don't want anything super full coverage, I don't want anything too heavy, and that was such a great thing of her to say, because, you know, I was trying to make her, or I was telling her to get this foundation, the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I love this stuff. It's super full coverage, great application, like makes your skin look super natural and smooth, but she didn't want anything that expensive. One, she knew that she couldn't afford that because she doesn't wear makeup half as much as I do, and she also wanted something with a little bit less coverage. So I told her to get the Sephora brand foundation. It's great and it works just as well as the Makeup Forever because it works for her. So you kind of have to know what kind of coverage you want. You know, you could want a CC cream instead of a stick foundation. This one's going to apply a lot less product, and this one's going to apply a lot more product. You kind of have to know like what you want, and that way you know which foundation to buy. And then when it comes to brushes and beauty blenders and fingers and how to actually apply the product, this is kind of preference. It's preference because I'm a firm believer that the more you spend on your makeup brushes, the easier the application is going to be. But I've learned that through time, and that's because, you know what, when I was first starting off in makeup, I bought the $2 beauty blender. I bought e.l.f. brushes. I still buy e.l.f. brushes because I can't afford a $50 brush. Like, no one can afford that. But, you know, you just kind of got to know, like, which one you want for the application. Clearly, a brush is going to be fuller coverage when you use it to blend out your foundation, and a beauty blender is going to be a little bit less coverage, but it does smooth out your foundation and make it look more natural. You have to kind of know your preferences. You might even want to use fingers. I see a lot of girls use fingers for their concealer. I somehow just can't get into that. I don't know why. I've tried, like, it just is not my thing. But and I also use a Kabuki brush and a blender, or I use a Kabuki brush with a different foundation and a beauty blender with another foundation. Like, you kind of have to know your preferences on what you like to use for different foundations. Like, for instance, this stick foundation, I love to use a Kabuki brush, what am I saying? And then I go over it with a beauty blender because I think that gives me the best coverage and the best application when using this product. But if I'm using a CC cream or I'm using like a liquid foundation, I will just go in with my beauty blender. I skip the Kabuki brush because I don't really care, and I use my beauty blender because that's how I like my application. But those are kind of my first few tips as to what to think about when you want to apply foundation and what to think about when you want to buy foundation and want to buy brushes and things like that. But now we can just kind of jump into the video and go through some of the rookie mistakes of what happens when you actually apply the foundation. So let's run over to the video. Okay guys, let's get started with the application of the product. First thing I do when I do my foundation, and the first thing that I remember I used to never do, was prime my face. I use the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. Again, if you can't afford this, there are plenty of drugstore options. NYX also has a great primer. This is a Photo Loving primer, Studio Perfect. I think this is supposed to be a dupe for the Makeup Forever, like, photo finish or whatever. And it kind of is. They literally feel the exact same. So if you don't want to spend $20 on a primer, I think this is like $6 or $10 at the drugstore. But I don't like silicone primers, and this primer happens to be silicone free, and it feels super moisturizing, and I feel like it gives me the best base when I'm applying it. So I'm just going to put some in my fingers, and I first tap in the product into my skin, and then I just kind of rub it out, and I never forget my neck and in between here. So now that we applied a primer and our face is super smooth, we're going to go in with our foundation. I did let this sit for a little bit, so you just want the primer to sink into your skin. Some people put their primer on and then just do their eyes. Normally I do my eye makeup prior to face makeup. Again, that's preference. But for foundation today, I'm going to be going in with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I highly recommend this product. I highly recommend the liquid version of this as well. They're both absolutely amazing. But again, if you can't afford this and maybe it's not in your price range, there's plenty of other products at the drugstore that work just as well. So when I do this, there's no like special technique to applying my foundation. So when you're blending out foundation, you kind of want to know what is the best way to blend out that foundation. I think the best way to blend out stick foundations is to use a kabuki brush and then go over it with a beauty blender. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you also want to know the best way to apply this foundation. So I think the best way to do stick foundations is to do small circular motions, not patting motions, but small circular motions. Moves around the product more and it doesn't take away much coverage. And also I wanted to mention that another rookie mistake that I did was I never put foundation down my neck up until literally like 4 months ago, and it makes such a difference because I realized that my skin color is totally different than my neck and face color. My neck and my face are always super pale compared to the rest of my body. So I kind of had to adjust and realize that I had to do both in order for it to match, because you don't want like a super dark face, a pale neck, and then like a crazy tan body. Like it looks weird. But circular motions as you do this to blend in the product. And take your time with this. You don't want to have a friend tell you that you have a really dark line on your face, and that would be because you didn't blend out your foundation well enough. So I just blended out with my kabuki brush. That took me probably like 3 minutes. So that's like a pretty long time if you think about it, like just sitting there blending it out. And then I go in with my beauty blender and I blend it out for like a couple more minutes as well to make sure that I have a really even coverage and that I'm not going to look super crazy. So make sure your beauty blender is dampened or whatever sponge you have and just go in. I heard the Real Technique sponge is really good as well. So if you guys are interested in getting a cheaper version of the beauty blender, the Real Techniques is a good option. Okay, so that was maybe like a minute and a half. My foundation is super blended. It's like almost sunk into the skin now, so it looks like one with the skin, you know? It looks as natural as you can make foundation look. And now when applying concealer, I use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light. It's probably a little bit too pale for me right now, but I'm usually like a ghost, so I don't mind. And then depending on how much coverage I want for the day, that's how much I'll apply. So today I'm not really feeling like full coverage, and this stuff is already full coverage enough. So on days that I do want full coverage, I literally swipe and swipe and swipe. But today I just am kind of dotting it maybe where I need it. And then some people prefer the method of patting it with their fingers to warm up the product. I just go in with a dampened beauty blender. I think that's the best way to do it for me personally, so that's how I'm gonna do it. Another rookie mistake is a lot of people forget how important it is to blend in this area. You really want to make it as smooth as possible, and so I go in with my Morphe like fluffy concealer brush, and I just kind of blend out the product. Now we're gonna go into setting the face. This changes for me every single day. Some days I just grab a big ass fluffy brush and just blend it out. Or I go in with my beauty blender, and today I'm feeling that. So what I do is I grab any powder. To me, I either use the RCMA No Color Powder, the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder, or this e.l.f. one works pretty good as well. What I do is I just grab a little bit on my Beauty Blender and I tap this into my face. And by doing this with the dampened Beauty Blender, it just, I don't know, something about it like gives you the most coverage with powders. But again, sometimes I might feel like the Beauty Blender doesn't disperse the product enough, so I'll just go into the powder that I'm using and I'll just go in with a brush and kind of blend it all out. And then don't forget to go down your neck as well. I forget to set my neck like every single day, and then I'll like get to school or something or be in the library and I'll like touch my neck and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot to set it, like crap. And then when I'm setting my, I'm gonna set my under eyes now. I normally do this before, but it doesn't matter. I just didn't have the product around, so I had to go grab it really quick. But I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier to set my under eyes. I'm literally just gonna use the tiniest amount on my Beauty Blender and just throw it underneath my eyes. And I also think using the Beauty Blender to do this part is the best way to prevent your concealer from creasing. It just kind of helps fill in the lines a little bit more and gets into those fine lines more than a brush would. I'll go around my nose area too because that part creases really bad. But that's what I do to get a perfect and flawless base for my foundation. I'm going to go ahead and do everything else off camera and then come back to you guys to finish up the video. Okay, I am back. I just did the rest of my face and I'll link the products down below, what I use to contour and what I use to do my eye makeup. To sum up this tutorial and to go on to our last step, the last step to perfect long-lasting foundation is to set your face. I use the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. I like this stuff, but I will have to say my favorite setting spray is by Makeup Forever. It's like the Fixin' Prep or Fixin' something. You can find it at Sephora, it's just their setting spray, and I think that one works the best. But I was a baller on the budget at the time when I bought this, so yeah, and I like it. I think it's good, but I don't think there's something about the Makeup Forever one that is like magical on my face. I don't know what it is, but so let's spray our face. Don't hold it too close, that would be like a rookie mistake. Like, so hold it like, I don't know, like a ruler lengths away and, you know, drown in it, whatever you want to do. To sum up this tutorial, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. That's really what I want you guys to do during these rookie mistakes. But thumbs up this video if you liked it and if you learned something. Thumbs up this video if you want to see more. And then comment down below any like suggestions you would want to see for like rookie mistakes, whether it be like winged eyeliner or like, you know, brows or applying like, you know, whatever you could think of that would be a rookie mistake that you might want to learn. Remember my tips that I put in the beginning of this video and you will have perfect application process when you're doing your foundation. But I gotta get going because I literally have to do the application process for my new place in fall and I'm super duper excited. Shout out to Kari and Ashley, and subscribe below if you haven't, and follow my social media accounts, which is basically right now just my Instagram, which is @JorDeershaw. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.